Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to another episode of The Success Shift. My name is Jake. It's Thursday evening, my time, and it's another beautiful day to be happy and grateful. As you may be aware, my mum is here, and we've had an incredible day today. We went for, she took me out, we got a massage, and then we had lunch, and now I'm here, and I can hear them playing around in the background again, and it's just really, really incredible to have family around and to get to just have a little bit of a break and a relaxation and just spending some quality time with family that as you may know, that I don't get to do as often because of my circumstances. But I'm just in a very good mood, very grateful, very able to be present. I don't know, it's been forever since I've had a massage, like a professional massage, and I just had an hour of just being 100% present. And like, I do lots of meditation in the morning and look at mindfulness, but this was a good way to just clear my mind and just be fully in the moment. And it was absolutely beautiful, and I found a lot of gratitude, and again just was able to fill myself with this joy and just happiness for life as it was in this present moment. So very grateful for that this morning, and I definitely recommend anyone who's not doing meditation, put it into your practice, give it a go. I know for me, I was so skeptical when I first started, and I was so kind of against it, and I was like, oh, what's this woo woo stuff? But I've come a long way. I've let go of a lot of my ego, and I'm very open. And in fact, I love all the woo woo stuff. I'm very hippie and spiritual and open minded to that kind of learning, and the ability to be present and rest the mind and not think about everything has just been such a game changer. And the more I research into really successful people, billionaires, those who are really far out in their field, professional, they all pretty much all have a very high understanding of meditation and a high respect for it. And I think it definitely helps when the chaos of emotion comes into trading. If you can find a way to take a breath, to take a step back, and to find that presence, you're able to find some clarity. And this has been a big help in trading for me anyway. So I'm very grateful to have had the opportunity to get involved in meditation and to really practice it regularly, and to have it, have the outcomes that it's had for me. So definitely recommend anyone who's not meditating, give it a go, give it a whirl, find that mindfulness, find that ability to be present, to be calm, and to really be able to center yourself. We talk a lot about emotions and pattern recognition and pattern interruption, and breathing is a perfect way for pattern interruption. So you feel your emotions, you feel whatever coming on, just take 3 deep breaths and just center your mind, or get up, do a lap around your chair, just something to remove yourself from the spiral of emotions that we often, very often, fall into during trading. So chuck your gratitude in the chat. We'll flick through some of these, and then we'll get into what I have to talk about today. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Grateful to be here. Love it. Family is the best time. Can't wait for mine today. I love meditations. There are millions of guided meditations on YouTube for so many helpful ways. I listen in bed before sleep and sometimes fall asleep. Yeah, I've listened to some meditations that help fall asleep. There's meditations for so many things. I listen to guided meditation. I do mindfulness breath meditation. And this is something that I got from Tom Bilyeu, which is called Thinkitation. I'm sure he's taken it from somewhere, but the idea is that you just allowing your thoughts to be. So you give yourself 10 minutes to visualize, to just let your thoughts run, and just to have fun with them and not really resist them, but just see where they take you, and jot notes down and just let your creativity run. And I found that very, very helpful in just allowing myself to be a bit more free with my ideas. I think children have such huge imaginations, and it's so lovely when you see them just go off and they let their imagination run wild. But as adults in modern day society, we sort of get taught to maintain or bring down our imagination. You look at people who are daydreaming, you're like, come on, get back to it. But really, the concept of visualization and daydreaming and using your imagination and letting it be is what can be attained to so many successful people who've actually visualized and had the thought process before it actually comes to reality. What do they say? It's everything in the whole world has been created twice, once in the mind and once in reality. So allowing yourself that opportunity to let your mind create whatever dream world that you want it to be is the first step to making it become a reality. So that's been a very big process for me. I'm grateful for this community and the path that seems to be developing in front of me lately. Yes, I love that. It's so nice when you can look back and you see like, wow, I've come a long way, and you give yourself that time and appreciation for the growth that you've had. I love doing that. And the more I do it, the more I'm like, wow, I'm constantly making growth. Deepak Chopra, Soul of Healing Meditation is a great one. There you go. I'm incredibly grateful for the meditation as well. I find another great form of meditation is experienced while walking and being in a grateful and awe-inspiring state. Yeah, I have a lot of my deep thoughts when I'm jogging. I often listen to podcasts and stuff, but then I have to pause them to allow the thoughts process. And when I'm jogging, especially out in nature, like my brain's just firing, and it's kind of hard to take note of it all. And I'm trying to like remember some things for when I get back. I think it's really, when you've got that body movement as well, it's really, really powerful. All right, let's get into today's topic. I want to talk about something that's, funnily enough, a little bit along that idea of walking and meditating, based on the book that I've been reading as of late. But I want to talk about this concept of Kung Fu trading, which I have sort of come up and thought about on my jogs. And originally we look at Kung Fu as a martial arts, right? But the actual definition of Kung Fu is more of a Chinese specialty. So Kung is skillful work, hard training or endeavor, and Fu is time spent. So Kung Fu really means time spent on skillful work. It's about mastering your art with discipline and hard work over a substantial period of time. And so if we look at this in a concept, we can become Kung Fu traders in the sense that we want to master this skill by disciplined work over time. And I really want you to take note of any mastery, really. So for me, lots of my passion lies in surfing, music, trading, obviously. So I'm going to use these as metaphors. And I've always thought that surfing is a great, great metaphor for trading. But the idea here is that all masters tend to be so present in the moment. And they have found a way that over time, they have got a series of responses and movements that they do when certain situations come up. And this is what I was talking a bit about on Tuesday. Do not react, respond. It's the ability to respond to a situation rather than react to a situation. So I'm going to talk about this metaphor of Kung Fu trading and really trying to define the difference between reacting and responding to a situation. And hopefully when you're in whatever it is that you're wanting to do, and this can be utilized in other things other than trading, but we're going to narrow it down to trading. When something happens, I want you to think of the mantra: don't react, respond. Are you reacting or are you responding? Okay. So if we look at just kind of what the two words mean, reacting is kind of immediate. It's to exert as a thing acted upon. So it's usually a reaction. And if a reaction. But if you think about it in the chemical aspect, a reaction is a chemical change. It is when two substances undergo a chemical change. And what do we know about emotion? Emotion, if we think about it in neurochemistry and neuroscience and biology and stuff, it's our emotions come from a chemical imbalance in our body. And this is what causes emotion. This is what causes anger, sadness. All these emotions are based around a chemical reaction. And so when we're reacting, what we're doing is something is happening to us. There's an immediate action upon us, and our chemicals imbalance, and we just return fire immediately. Rash. It's not thought out. It's not deliberate. It is impulsive. And as we know, the emotional brain, we talk about the three brains, the emotional brain is very strong. The chimp mind, very strong, very powerful, very quick, and it just reacts. Now, if we are stuck in this reactive mode, it doesn't give us the time to have a thought out, mindful, intentional response. So this is where I want to talk about the response. The response comes with mindfulness and intent. This is why meditation is so good, because it allows you to be calm in the present moment. Okay. Now, if we look at this in a certain few areas, like let's look at for martial arts, because obviously Kung Fu, everyone knows it to be, Chinese martial art. And the initial thought of this came from the Bruce Lee Be Like Water, my friend's book that I've been reading. And whenever you're in a fight, for example, a martial artist, they will be so present, flowing in the state. And what will happen is the person will move, and they will respond either by defending themselves, getting out the way, attacking. But when they get hit, when you get punched, or when something unforeseen happens, a novice martial artist goes, "Oh, that hurt. Fight or flight mode. Let's respond. Let's react. Sorry." And they like swing back, or they get filled with aggression, or they get filled with something that makes them explosive. But this can actually end up causing other issues because you open yourself up, you leave yourself room to be hit, blah, 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 blah. Whereas a master in their craft will respond in the sense of, okay, that was not as I expected. Calm, composure, mindfulness. Let's have some thoughtful response to this. And then you either step back, you step away, you let yourself recover, or you're quick enough and it's almost automatic because you've been doing the discipline over such a long period of time that you have a response that's already kind of habitual that you can just do, either return a punch or whatever it is. Okay. And this is the same with a musician, right? A musician, when they're playing, they're very present in the moment. And if you've ever seen two musicians just jam together, it's beautiful because they listen and then they just respond with something that they've practiced over time, multiple times. It's fluid, it's easy, and it just flows. Same with surfing. Surfing, you are sitting in the water and you're at the mercy of Mother Nature. And you just have to wait for the waves to come. And when the waves come, you use your training over time and discipline and mindfulness and thought to get yourself into a good position, to do the process of what you know how to do, and then you take off and you surf the wave. And being inside the wave is the whole part of it. It's not like, I want to get to the end of this wave quickly. No, it's like I'm in the present moment, enjoying, being really, really mindful, just embracing the wave that you're in. And then once that stops, you set up, you pause, you wait, you look for another wave to come. This is the exact same in trading. Okay. You're sitting there just peaceful, looking at the charts. Things are coming, things are going. Yeah, they're not really that good. And then, here comes a trade of mine that I know that I like. Here comes a setup. I can see it. I'm forecasting it. So when you're sitting in the surf, you can see waves right out the back and you're like, oh, actually there's a wave coming in. I'm going to get myself organized. I'm going to do my check. I'm going to make sure that I'm in the right position. Maybe paddle over a little bit, paddle to the left, paddle to the right. Same thing we should be doing with trading. Oh, I can see the EMA is fanning out. Okay, we're on a pullback. We're coming back to the aqua. Okay, what sort of trades can I foresee coming? Okay, I know that this could happen or this could happen. I'm getting myself prepared, organized, getting myself mindful so that when the process comes through, when you're surfing, oh, the wave's coming through, it's starting to barrel. Yes, I'm calm, I'm mindful, I can paddle onto this wave and off I can go. Same thing with trading. The setup comes up. Yes, it's playing exactly how I thought. Perfect. I'm calm, I'm mindful, I can enter my trade and manage it just as I know how to do. Now let's talk about when we react. When you react, if you're new at surfing, if you're not comfortable in the water, a wave comes and you're like, okay, what do I do? There's a wave. I'm going to get drowned. I'm going to drown, or I got to catch it. Like, turn around and start paddling. And the panic sets in. And I've seen this with novice surfers all the time. They start to paddle and paddle and paddle and paddle, and then they're exhausted, or they get in the wrong position, and then they get dumped, and then they're like, this sucks. Same thing happens if we do this in trading. Okay, we see a setup coming. Okay, what do we do? Okay, I'm going to buy here. No, and then you start to get into this frantic, reactive state. Oh, there's a big candle. I don't want to miss it. The emotions come in, right? Oh my God, it's closing below the aqua. Does that mean I should switch? Should I go to a sell instead of a buy? Like, what should I do? And this is the reactive emotional state of you, which is driving your actions, right? And we have to learn over time to be more in that responsive, mindful, calm state that allows ourselves to do the process. Now, when you first start, and I'm using surfing because I love surfing. Like I said, I think it's a great analogy. But when you see a novice surfer come out, they will stay in the same spot. Every time they see the glimpse of a wave, they start to use up all their energy, and they will try and catch 15 waves and maybe get on one, and it will be a shambles. You watch a professional, they sit calmly in the water and wait for the waves to come to them. There might be something that looks close. They put a little bit of effort in, maybe move across. No, this isn't for me. And then when it gets time for them to actually initiate and respond, they do a couple of paddles and they're up on that wave, and it's the most beautiful wave of the day. They'd have 2 or 3 incredible waves. But the novice, they paddle so hard, they get exhausted, they get fatigued, they get frustrated, they want to leave. Like, I only caught 1 wave and I tried for like 20 waves. Sound familiar? When you start trading and you like, and you take 20 trades and you're like, one of them is a nice trade, but you've also lost all your money on the 15 shitty trades that you took, or the frantic exits, or the emotional entries, right? Same kind of concept when we're in the surf. if we paddle after everything and try to chase everything and just go after everything opportunity we think we can grab, we're going to get exhausted. We're going to get run down. We're going to catch almost no waves. When we're trading, if we enter every little opportunity we get, we're going to get run out. We're going to get deflated. Our emotions are going to run us down, and we're going to be, out of the game before we even know it. And this is because we're reacting, not responding. Chuck some ones in the chat if this is making sense. And if you can relate to the novice trader who has been frantically pressing the button and taken like 15 losses and only got one decent win. One. Yes. Yes. This is so perfect. I so relate. Yeah, it really is. And I really want you to try and understand this and grasp this concept of kung fu trading, where it's not about just jumping in and, same with the martial artist. If they just jump in and start throwing punches and all, they're going to use up all their energy. They're going to maybe land one or two punches and then they're going to be exhausted. And the master, who's just waiting, biding his time, is just going to wait until the opponent's exhausted and then just one or two attacks and they're out and game over. We don't want to be that frantic novice. Okay, we don't want to be that person who's just swinging punches or paddling frantically, just hoping that we get on the edge of a wave. We want to be the calm master who over time has got a set of things that they know how to do very, very well. It's got a set of routines that can read the wave so nicely that it takes them 2 paddles and they're on their wave, that can stand there and dodge 101 punches and then only make one to, take out their opponent. To the musician who can just pick up a guitar, listen to the music for a while, and then just jam along, and it seems like you've been playing the song the whole time. These are masters in their discipline, and they respond. They don't react. Like if you get a guitar thrown at you and the music's playing, you're like, what do I do? No, you give yourself the time. You listen to the music, you hear what's happening, and then you start to move your fingers in a way that you've done many, many times before, and it's beautiful. And we need to get to this mastery level, this kung fu trading, where we are not reacting anymore. We are responding. We have been doing this in a moment where we know, okay, I can calmly run through these motions and do what I'm meant to do repetitively. Let's just say a lot of the time, and get results. A professional surfer will go out there, they'll sit patiently, they'll catch 2 or 3 beautiful waves, and they're happy. A master at fighting will take a few key attacks and win the fight, But this brings me on to another point, brings me on to the next level of this, is when you're at that master level, you don't base yourself on your mishaps, let's say. So if I'm a professional surfer and I know that I can surf, and then I go to catch a wave and I miss it, I don't start doubting everything I've done before. I don't start going, oh my God, I'm so shit at this. I got to change up my paddling style. I got to change up my positioning. I got to change everything up. I got to get a new board. I go, I missed that one. Just wait for the next one. If I'm a martial artist and I get punched, I'm like, oh, well, that hurt. I'm just going to calm myself down and just wait and reset. If you hear a musician, professional musicians miss notes all the time, but they don't frantically go, oh no, I fucked this whole song up and stop. They just play straight through it and on to the next note. The same can be said for trading. You need to be able to get to a stage where you are so confident in your skills and your responses and your ability that if you get a losing trade, it doesn't matter. It's not going to shake everything. You don't have to go reschedule your whole trading plan. You don't have to go out there and be like, oh, I'm suck at this. Like, I'm never going to learn this, and start beating yourself up. We have to get to that mastery level where we understand the mistakes happen. Same if I get in a wave and I don't make it out, I get absolutely dumped and the wave tumbles me. I'm like, well, get back up, and almost immediately I'm just that's gone, and I'm just looking out for the next setup. Same with trading. Okay, I did exactly what I wanted to do. I know exactly how I meant to do this. This just was a loss. Doesn't matter. Okay, there's no emotion, there's no reaction, there's no nothing needs to be held on to it. It just so happened to be that it wasn't for me. Let's move on to the next setup. Let's move on to the next trade. Does this make sense? Okay. So this idea of kung fu trading, where we're trying to be mindful and responsive, not panicky and reactive. We don't need to be jumping into every single opportunity. And, sometimes when I'm out surfing, I'll sit there and I'll be like, oh, man, I wish I had a paddle for that. That's a beautiful wave and no one's surfing it. Doesn't matter. There'll be so many more that I can catch. Same with trading. Look at that. There's a beautiful setup. I didn't quite enter it. I just wasn't in the right headspace, or I wasn't in the right position, or I just didn't have everything, everything wasn't lined up. Look how nicely that played out. Doesn't matter. You don't have to beat yourself up. You don't have to be disappointed. You don't have to be frustrated. It's not like, oh, my trading has gone to shit now because I missed that opportunity. It's just like, oh, that was nice. I hope someone else got that because it was beautiful. There's been many times when I've been out in the surf and I'm like, oh man, I wish someone had a surf that wave. It's gorgeous. Same with trade setups. It's like, oh, I wish you want to be excited, especially when you've got a community of traders that we've got. Don't get frustrated and beat yourself up and get all like, oh, I missed this. This isn't fair. Like everyone else is getting these points. It's the wrong attitude to have. It's just going to be detrimental to yourself. You want to be like, yeah, sick. I'm so glad so many of you caught that. I can't wait for the next one where I can jump in. You see sports people, you see musicians, you see other fighters. They cheer on other masters in their skill. When they get a big wave, everyone cheers. They're not frustrated because they weren't the one in the wave. When a musician plays an awesome solo, everyone cheers. They're not pissed off that they weren't the one playing the solo. Same should be with trading. When you see an awesome setup and it goes and your friends catch points, you should be excited and stoked and be happy that they got the points as well. Just know that there'll be another opportunity. You're still learning, that it's all part of the process, and that discipline over time is what's going to create that mastery. Okay, does anyone have any questions on this? Because I feel like once you can reach this stage and have this mantra for yourself, do not react, respond. Once you can understand that the Kung Fu trader over time has discipline and is just mindful and at peace, then it becomes a hell of a lot easier, because the emotions is what throws traders all the time. But emotions is what throws most martial artists. If you're emotional and panicky on stage when you're playing music, you're going to get thrown. If you're panicking in the surf, you're going to get dumped. But once you get to a certain level, it just becomes easy. And that comes from being present, like fully present. When you're playing music, you are just in that moment, like, okay, how can I make this sound as good as I can? You're not thinking about, oh, what do I got to do after this concert? What's everyone else going to be thinking about me? What do I got to get for the shops? No, you're in the moment thinking about the music you're playing. When you're out surfing, you're just looking at the wave. And when you're on a wave, you're just thinking about, oh, this is the coolest wave. How should I manage it? Should I cut in? Should I go low? Well, am I going to get taken out by this if I lift my head up? So why aren't we doing the same in trading? Same with the martial artist in the fight. They're not thinking about what their neighbor's dog's doing or if they park their car in the right spot. No, they're thinking about everything that's happening in the ring at that moment. Are they going to get punched? Are they going to dodge? What's going to happen? Very responsive, very in the moment and present. This is exactly how we should look at trading. What's happening with these setups? What are these candles painting? Every single candle that paints changes the story, changes the environment, changes the setup. Technically, you can have a new response to every single candle that paints. And it could be as simple as, not my setup, not my setup, not my setup. And just be okay patiently waiting. Okay, I actually want these EMAs to come and clash with each other. I know that's probably not going to happen for 20 minutes. So I can be calm. I can take my mind off whatever, because I'm not even going to be looking out for trades. Okay, we spoke about this a bit on the call yesterday, is that when you do have that sort of professional mastery level, you get this freedom in times where you go, none of my setups are even close to setting up here. I don't even have to think about taking a trade. I don't even have to think about whether or not this candle's going to close and give me a good entry, because I know that I need these EMAs to be touching before I'm going to even look at an entry. It's like if I'm surfing and there's no waves, it's between waves. I'm not going to be like, okay, should I be paddling? Should I not? Like, am I in the right spot? There's no waves at all. Just take your mind off it, chill, relax. When the wave comes, then you can start to, okay, how do I respond to this? What does my training tell me? Am I in the right position? Should I start paddling now? Exact same thing with trading. I know for a lot of the time when I first started and I didn't have my trade setups, I didn't have my trading plan in place, I didn't know what I was looking for. Every single candle, I was like, can I enter here? Should I enter here? This is bullish engulfing. This is bearish engulfing. Or how about this? How about this? And it was exhausting. The longer we go at this, the more defined and refined you get with your style and the things you like and the things you want to look out for, the more you're able to respond and not react, and the easier it will become. Be fully present in the moment. And being present in the moment also is, I understand that my trade setup is not going to happen for another 15 minutes. So I can detach from looking for a trade setup, and I can make sure that my mindset's good. I can read through my trading plan. I can look through my journal. I can remind myself of my why. I can look at my vision board and go, I know there's not a trade for 5 minutes, so let's actually visualize and go, this is why I'm doing this. This is what I want my outcome to be. And it gives you that freedom. It's less stressful. We want this to become easy and natural. Okay? So I hope that's made some sense. Chuck some ones in the chat if it has clicked, because I know this was a real good mind shift for me. Got some ones coming through. Okay, perfect.
Yeah, Jake, this has been so valuable. Do you mind if I just share something quick?
Of course, go for it.
Just when you're talking about like, going out and how surfers just wait for the wave, I just like, it makes me think of like, the moments that I've revenge traded. It's like, okay, if I'm a surfer and I'm out, going to catch the wave and then I crash, and if I just try to get back up in the crash zone, I'm just going to keep crashing. And I've done this trading where, I go to take a trade and it like fails and I'm like, oh crap, next trade. And it's like, crap, girl, you are in the crash zone. Like you just got to pause, literally like swim back out to where it's calm and patient and you're in like the calm zone. And it's like, you've just given me this visual of just asking myself based on my emotions, am I in the calm zone of just waiting patiently for the next setup? Or am I in the crash zone where I'm just trying to catch the next move so fast without actually being in the right space? And so, yeah, I wrote down crash zone or calm zone, which am I in? And I just think it's going to be pretty transformational, mental present process for me while doing this. So thank you for that. That was just really, really valuable.
No worries. I love it. And I do, like, if you've ever been in some big swell, you'll see that there's a place where the waves always crash. There's whitewash. And if you get stuck in that, it sucks. You're just fighting it seems like you're constantly fighting and you're not getting anywhere. But what a professional surfer will do is they, exactly as you said, just, you know what, let's just ride this one out. Take some time, recuperate, get back into the calm zone where our logical mind is able to process everything and we're not fighting for our life. That fight or flight we've been talking about. If you're in that crash zone, you are fighting. You go to fight response. You go, I need to save my life. Same with, I need to get my money back. It's just so emotional and primitive and reactive. Whereas exactly as you said, if you can just be like, I'm in the crash zone, let's get out of here. Let's just ride it out, come back down, find the calm zone, get our logical brain going again, and then we can reattack this, then it's going to be much beneficial. So I like that usage of the words that you've used there, the crash zone and the calm zone. I think it's really good way to put that.
I mean, this wasn't just good stuff, Jake. This was transformational stuff for me. So thank you so much for that.
Awesome. I love to hear that. I'm building my mindset course and my whole point of it is to make it transformational. So to hear that this is being transformational, that's my entire goal. So I'm really grateful that you're getting what I'm hoping to give to you. All right, we're just jumping a little bit late on time. Lots of thank yous. Crash zone versus calm zone. This is really good stuff. Perfectly, definitely transformative. In the chats here, action versus reaction is something I practice mastering in my everyday life. Time to focus in more in my trading. Aha moments. Beautiful. All right, everyone. Well, to our traders, let's jump on over to the call. I know we've run a little bit over time. Go through your trading plans, go through your journals, go through everything that you're meant to that's habitual. To people listening on the podcast, I hope you're able to take something away from this. I will see you again tomorrow. Much love to everyone, and bye for now.